Indigenous people account for just 5% of the population. Around half of those incarcerated in federal women's prisons are Indigenous, and my community is no exception. At Grand Valley Institution, the percentage of Indigenous incarcerated folks has even increased by 10% since 2020. It's what makes the work of incredible organizations centering reconciliation in their justice system all the more vital, including the healing of the 7 generations, whose bail, release, and supervision program helps folks break generational trauma and prevent recidivism, as well as community justice initiatives, whose STRIDE program helps incarcerated folks heal and build the community connections that help them be successful after release. My deep thanks to Donna, Kate, and their entire teams for the impact they're having.
The Honourable Member from Nepean.
Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks back I could safely participate in a Hindu event in Edmonton only with the protection of RCMP officers, as a group of Pakistani protesters staged a disruptive demonstration against me. In Canada, we have long recognized and experienced the serious problem of Pakistani extremism. Let me be clear, the sanctity of Canadian sovereignty is sacrosanct, and any interference by foreign state actors within Canada in any form is unacceptable. Pakistani violent extremism is a Canadian problem, and RCMP has said the National Task Force is focused on investigating it. We know that extremism and terrorism don't recognize and are not limited to national borders. I call on our law enforcement agencies to take this issue with all the seriousness it demands. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable député de Montmagny, Lilek, Kamouraska, Rivière-du-Loup.
Mr. Speaker, this week is Small and Medium Business Week in Canada. I'm an entrepreneur and very proud of the fact. Proud because I dedicated my life to doing what I like doing the most, which is paying it forward. Entrepreneurs volunteer their time and energies to help one another. One of our entrepreneurs is a person that helped create wealth, jobs, and community infrastructure by paying it forward and creating a better community around them. I salute the hard work of all these small business people who day after day work hard in a constantly changing world with in businesses with fewer than 50 workers like mine. These businesses contribute to innovation and to all small businesses. Happy Small Business Week.
Mississauga, East Cooksville.
Mr. Speaker, I was heartbroken to hear that a dear friend and community member, Mario Nunes, passed away. For over 20 years, Mario was not just a friend, but a radiant example of joy, hard work, steadfast dedication to his family, friends, and our community. Mario was a devoted husband to Lisa, a loving father to Melissa, and a cherished grandfather to Daniel. Mario left behind a remarkable legacy in the masonry industry. When it came to getting a job done right, everyone turned to Mario for his unmatched professionalism. Mario's passion and commitment were a source of inspiration to all of us. He was always ready to lend a hand, share a kind word, whether it was capturing moments at Luso charity events, discussing ways to improve the lives of people with disabilities. Mario's spirit will forever remain in the hearts that he touched, and he will profoundly be missed. Rest in peace, my dear friend. Thank you.
L'honorable député de Lac-Saint-Jean.
The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, on this day, October 23rd, a leading figure in regional agriculture is stepping down from his post. After 8 years as president of the UPA in Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, Mario Théberge, a dairy and grain farmer from Normandin, well known and respected by his peers, will leave his place to the next generation who are already ready to follow in his footsteps. Involved in farm unionism for over 30 years, Mario Théberge was elected regional president of the UPA in 2016. The time has come for him to go on on his way and pass the torch. One thing's for sure, Mario will be remembered as a team player, a farmer who was deeply involved in his community, always ready to take on a challenge, a president who gave us confidence in the agricultural future of our beautiful region. It's with great pride and a sense of duty accomplished as he bids farewell to his colleagues and hands over the keys to the tractor today. Mario, good luck in your future endeavors, and we look forward to seeing you soon. But above all, thank you for everything. The Honourable Member for Saint-Léonard Saint-Michel. Mr. Speaker, I was honoured to attend the historic inauguration of Amazon Web Services' brand new Espace Voir Grand at the La Salle Centre in Saint-Michel. This space, which is a first in Canada and a world first in a French-speaking community, will provide our students, teachers, and community members unparalleled access to educational resources related to science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math.
Amazon Web Services and the Centre La Salle new opportunities through this space will act as an incubator of innovation and will help create researchers and inventors of tomorrow. I'm
extremely proud that Canada's very first Espace Voir Grand is opening its doors in my riding of Saint-Léonard Saint-Michel, and I can't wait to see all that will be accomplished there.
The Honourable Member from Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize the extraordinary achievement of Canadian Para-Olympian Jolene Wong, who proudly brought home a bronze medal from the 2024 Paris Paralympics. As a dedicated and resilient athlete, Jolene has become a symbol of strength and perseverance, both on and off the court. Jolene has inspired countless Canadians with her determination and dedication to sitting volleyball. Last Sunday, she was awarded the key to the city of Pembroke. Her remarkable achievement is not just a testament to her personal drive, but also a shining example of the power of sportsmanship. Jolene's victory in Paris is a victory for all Canadians who believe in pushing boundaries and celebrating excellence. We congratulate her for representing our country with such distinction and thank her for inspiring a new generation of athletes. Please join me in celebrating Jolene Wong and her teammates' accomplishments. Thank you. Jolene.
The Honourable Member for Ottawa-Vanier. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's with deep sadness that I rise today to pay tribute to Ethel Cote, who passed away on October 16th after a battle with cancer. Her family paid tribute to her, saying that her unwavering commitment to training, listening, supporting, and above all, inspiring everyone she met left an indelible mark on the lives she touched. A pioneer of the social economy and innovation, she founded many organizations, including Mécènes, and contributed to the training and development of nearly 1,000 community organizations. Founding CEO of La Nouvelle Scène and associate professor at the University of French Ontario, she was recognized for her cooperative and innovative approach and her commitment to a more just and caring society. Designated a UN champion of women's economic empowerment in 2015, she was also awarded the Order of Canada, the Order of Ontario, and the Order of the Pléiade, and a Sapphire Award in 2015. A beloved mother and grandmother, she leaves a huge void in the Franco-Ontarian community and far beyond. My sincere condolences to her family and loved ones. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable député d'Outremont.
The Honourable Member for Outremont.
This morning, the Bank of Canada cut interest rates by 50 basis points, bringing interest rates down to just 3.75%, Mr. Speaker. That's good news for hardworking Canadians. It's going to help families who need to renew their mortgage. It's going to help young people wanting to go out and buy their first home. It's going to give some breathing room to folks who have debts and loans to repay, making things just a bit easier for them. Lower interest rates, it's good news for Canadian entrepreneurs, for businesses of all sizes, whether they have loans or they don't. And I must say, during Small Business Week, no less, it's great news for our small businesses. Now, I'm not saying that everything is perfect here. I know there are Canadians struggling with affordability. I know that there are global economic instability forces at play, but I also know that there is no better place to be than Canada right now.
That's right.
No better place than Canada. And today, things are made just a little bit easier and a little bit better for the good folks living here.
Here, here. The honourable member from Barrie Springwater, Oro Medonte.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After 9 years of this Prime Minister, taxes are up, costs are up, crime is up. Time is up. Just this week, Barrie Police arrested a repeat offender in possession of stolen goods only hours after being released on bail. In the past 2 weeks alone, this one offender has been charged with theft 6 times. M. Gao, a Barrie resident, recently wrote into Barrie Today to state that they have lived in Barrie since 1967 and no longer feel safe in our community. They do not feel safe going downtown by themselves anymore, especially after dark. This Prime Minister's catch-and-release bail policies have unleashed a wave of violent crime across the country. This Prime Minister boasts about banning the hunting rifles of law-abiding Canadians instead of targeting the gangsters and gun smugglers that are terrorizing our streets. The Toronto Police Association recently fact-checked the Prime Minister and pointed out that shootings are up 45% and gun-related homicides are up 62% in Toronto. Canadians deserve a common-sense Conservative government that will stop the crime and bring home safe streets.
The honourable member from Brampton North.
Today I stand before you with a profound sense of urgency and concern regarding the alarming revelations about foreign interference in our country. The RCMP's statement regarding the investigation into violent criminal activities linked to the Government of India has brought light to a harsh reality that Sikh Canadians have long feared. As a Member of Parliament representing a vibrant community of people from Sikh and Hindu backgrounds, I recognize the deep ties that bind Canada and India. Yet the chilling evidence presented by the RCMP reveals a betrayal of our shared values. It's unacceptable that foreign agents would operate with impunity on our soil, terrorizing communities and threatening our safety. We have seen extortion, arson, threats, and even loss of life, instilling fear in the South Asian community with the particular targeting of Sikh Canadians. This is unacceptable. Every Canadian deserves to live with safety, free from intimidation and violence, regardless of their beliefs or heritage. Our government has taken significant steps to confront these threats, but we must also stand united as a community, Sikhs and Hindus alike. We cannot allow fear to divide us. We must support one another and advocate for justice, accountability, and the protection of our rights.
The honourable member from Niagara Falls.
Speaker, after 9 years of this NDP Liberal coalition, taxes are up, costs are up, crime is up, and time is up. Speaker, you have ruled this government has violated a House order to turn over evidence to the RCMP into their latest $400 million green slush fund scandal. The NDP Liberal government's refusal to respect your ruling has paralyzed Parliament, pushing aside all other work to address the doubling of housing costs, food inflation, and the crime and chaos that we see in our streets due to their policies. While Liberal appointees at the SDTC were enriching themselves and their companies with nearly $400 million of Canadians' hard-earned tax dollars, 1 in 7 people in my community of Niagara Falls were visiting our food bank, Project Share, simply to get by. Will the NDP Liberals end their cover-up and provide the order documents to the police so Canadians can have the accountability they so rightly deserve?
Hear, hear. The honourable member from Kenora.
Taxes are up, costs are up, crime is up, and time is up after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government. Carbon taxes are driving up the cost of all essentials, including gas, groceries, and home heating. Now, according to an article from the Salvation Army, the food bank in Kenora is challenged just to keep stock on their shelves with rising demand, plus food costs that are making it difficult for people to be able to afford to make donations, Mr. Speaker. In fact, the food bank has been forced to reduce the number of visits per month for each guest. And this will only get worse if this costly coalition quadruples the carbon tax, which will cost Ontario families $1,400 per year in carbon tax alone. Plus, the Parliamentary Budget Officer has once again confirmed that Canadians pay more in the tax than they are getting back in rebates. Mr. Speaker, we know that this government and this carbon tax is not worth the cost, and Canadians want to know when they will have a chance for a carbon tax election so they can vote to axe the tax and bring home lower prices.
Yeah!
The honourable member from Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam.
Mr. Speaker, The recent announcement by the RCMP that agents of the Indian government are involved in serious criminal activity in Canada is deeply troubling. Such actions represent a clear violation of Canada's sovereignty and an attack on the safety of all Canadians, particularly those in the Sikh and South Asian community. We must stand united in condemning these actions in the strongest possible terms. Canada's sovereignty is non-negotiable, and we will not tolerate foreign interference or intimidation. I would like to thank the RCMP and all law enforcement agencies for their tireless efforts in uncovering these serious threats and taking decisive action to protect our communities. The safety of all Canadians, regardless of their heritage or political beliefs, must always be protected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Nanaimo, Ladysmith.
Mr. Speaker, unhoused women, girls, and gender-diverse people who are unhoused are invisible in our country. Being without a home or being precariously housed can look different for women. Many find temporary shelter in their cars or on a friend's couch. To make matters worse, as the cost of living increases, more people are left out in the cold. To help, we need vital, person-centered, wraparound services and housing. In Nanaimo Ladysmith, Island Crisis Care Society provides these vital supports. I'm so grateful for the incredible work they do, but they cannot do it alone. Life-saving supports are needed. Instead, we've seen federal cuts. The Reaching Home program was slashed a devastating 60% in Nanaimo this year. Many in our communities are doing all they can, but they need support. It is time to see the necessary federal investment and leadership now. Thank you, Mr.
Hear, hear.
Speaker.
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Member for Drummond. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to offer the Bloc Québécois' full solidarity to Marwa Rizki, Member of the National Assembly for Saint Laurent. Ms. Rizki has had to seek police protection for her family. She's been the target of threats since she brought to light the Islamic excesses at Bedford School and the mistreatment of children. In particular, she's been targeted by Adil Sharkawi, an imam who would already be facing charges for previous hate speech were it not for the religious exception that is still in the criminal code. This House must understand there are consequences to letting people like him continue to spread their hate far and wide. We strongly condemn any intimidation of Ms. Rizki, as we do of all elected officials. Ms. Rizki, thank you for your unwavering commitment to children. Thank you for standing up for secularism and equality between men and women, between our sons and daughters. You deserve a safe and respectful end to your term of office before finally being able to devote yourself entirely to your family.
The Honourable Member from Dufferin-Caledon.
Gun crime up is 116%. The carbon tax will be up to 61 cents a litre. Groceries are up 45% since 2015. And after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government, even Liberal MPs agree taxes are up, costs are up, crime is up, and time's up for this unpopular Liberal Prime Minister. And apparently they confronted this Liberal Prime Minister this morning, but there was one small hitch. They had to get written approval to speak to the Prime Minister. Talk about freedom of speech. While these Liberals are busy fighting amongst themselves, Conservatives are focused on what's important to Canadians. Axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. As Conservatives, we don't agree with virtually anything that they have done. They are destroying Canada. But what's become increasingly clear is a whole bunch of Liberal MPs agree with us. This Liberal Prime Minister isn't worth the cost, isn't worth the corruption, and it's time to go.
The Honourable Member from Mississauga East. Brampton East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 4 out of the 5 leaders represented in this very chamber have either received their security clearance or in the process of receiving their security clearance. There's only one party leader in this chamber that chooses to close his eyes and remain oblivious to foreign interference and continues to refuse to get a security clearance, and that is the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. The Conservative leader across the way is hiding something. The question is, what is he hiding, and what exactly is stopping him from getting his clearance at a time when we are facing serious foreign interference in communities across Canada? Yesterday, a motion was presented in this House that calls for all party leaders to take necessary actions to protect Canadians from foreign interference, calls for all federal party leaders to get their appropriate security clearance in the next 30 days, and guess what, Mr. Speaker? Conservative members said no to this. When will the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada wake up, get his clearance, and start standing with Canadians against foreign interference?
Yeah.